Well, hello. It's been a while, but welcome to Maid's Mighty Maple Music. We're going to do a record haul. This is from a couple of record shops, couple of different shopping trips in, let's see, several different cities. St. Jacobs, Ontario, Guelph, Ontario, I guess technically some Toronto, and Windsor. I think that's all of them. So let's get started. There's lots to be seen here. We're going to start with a trip to an antique market, Market Road Antiques in St. Jacobs, Ontario. I just want to laugh and tell you that I said I wouldn't buy any records on this trip, and now you're going to watch a whole bunch of records I bought on this trip. There truly was great record shopping in St. Jacobs. First up, I'll just remind you that my type of shopping is to find obscure 80s bands. If they're Canadian, even better. So my view is to try and find bands that I don't already own, that were from late 70s, early 80s. I might not know what they sound like, but it's with the hope that they've got, you know, some sort of pop rock, power pop, skinny tie sort of sound to them. I'll take even a little bit of hair metal, you know what I mean? So here we go. Here are level heads. This, first of all, I've got to see what this says. It says limited black vinyl edition. As in everything's black vinyl, right? Take a turn and take a look at the back of it. Right away we see that their management is St. Catharines, but if we look to how to write them, they are from Sarnia, Ontario, and this was recorded in May of 1986. I have not heard it yet. By the way, I do have good news. I'm closer to having speakers for my stereo, so when I do, we'll finally be able to listen to some of these. But in my case, Canadian 86, cannot wait to hear what this sounds like. So level heads from Sarnia. All right, next up, I have been reading this book about a guy whose name is Neil Bogart. And by chance, this Neil Bogart, at the time, was Vice President General Manager of Buddha Records. That's where he started his career. And he then went on to form both Casablanca and Boardwalk Records. My interest from Phil Seymour being on Boardwalk Records, but there's an incredible story about Casablanca Records if you're ever interested. You should look into Neil Bogart. So this was a bubblegum music compilation. You see you got your Goody Goody Gumdrops and Simon Says, Yummy Yummy Yummy. It's pretty fun. Green Tambourine. So this should be really fun to listen to. Volume 1 of Bubblegum Music Is. And I'll tell you, my friend Lisa found this one. So good find, Lisa. Next up, I bought this one for the cover, but of course you can't wait to hear it. Here is Teenage House Party. Look at this picture. You gotta love, they got some fruits. I love the decor on the table. That was probably what sold me. Now I'll tell you that any of these records, you know, just buying for the cover, none of them were over $5 except for one of them. I'll point out which one was the most expensive. But this one was either $3 or $5. Could not miss with that. So let's take a look at the back. There we go. Sandy Nelson, Teenage House Party. Got some house party rock, Feels So Good, Day Train, Night Train, Limbo rock. And, you know, the last song is definitely Teenage Party. Gotta love it. Next up is yet another one I bought for the cover. This I'll put up at Christmas. Santa Claus is Canadian. A Taste of Christmas in Canada. Yep, $2. It says it's from the 70s. How could I not? That will definitely be Christmas decor. We'll take a look at the back. Elvis wants to get in on the video, as he always does. And here you go. Ontario Lottery Corporation produced this. Showcase of Canadian talent. I guess this is my way of finding more Canadian talent, right? Elvis, I'm recording, please. Alright, here's the one that I spent the most money on. This one was $15. However, I do love the cover, of course, with the kid looking at his records. But that's not why I bought this. I actually remember playing this at KASR when I was in college at Arizona State University. And I did remember that I played this record a lot. I couldn't say that I completely remember what they sound like, but I did some digging to look up once again what Velvet Elvis was about. Turns out they were from Lexington, Kentucky, and they were signed to Enigma, so this is the Enigma record. But I guess they weren't happy with their signing, or I don't know if it was their promotion or what have you. So they were only together for 4 years. They got out of their Enigma contract, and that was it to Velvet Elvis. But I do recall it being good, so I'm looking forward to hearing this band again. And also important to note, this is produced by Mitch Easter, so that gives you some cred right there. Next up is another Canadian find. This was so odd what happened. I found this, it's Men's Room, although it is a female band, even though they're called Men's Room. This is 4 tracks, and from what I can tell, it says it was recorded in Brampton. I wasn't able to find exactly where this band was from. It's from 1983, but I was listening to this broadcast on a Boston college radio station, and they were playing this. So weird, like so random. Like maybe a week or 2 later, I actually heard this on the radio. I don't know how those things happen in our lives, but this one did turn out to be a Canadian find, and of new wave sound for sure. Next up, Johnny and the Distractors. Here's the cover, Let It Rock. Here's the back. This band is from the late 70s, and it turns out to be a band from Portland, Oregon. This is certainly not the time when we were thinking of bands coming from Oregon. This record was made in 1981. David Kirschenbaum is the producer. I don't think I found anything else out about them except that they were from Portland. So we'll see what they are like. And it is a cutout record. I have a collection, Elvis. No, not right now. He sees birds. I should just close the curtains, but I had good light here. This is Elvis, honey, please. Q107 was a Toronto radio station that put out these homegrown albums, and I knew I had a couple, so I kind of took a risk. It turns out I bought 3, one of which I already had. Not this one. This is volume 2, and you want a whole bunch of Canadian bands. We've got one from each one of these bands that were, you know, selected to be on this radio station compilation. So it should be fun to check out what each of these artists are like. I can't say that I know any of them. And let's see, this was 1980. So you always got to figure maybe at that time there's probably maybe some fun new wave. And then to go with that, I also didn't have this one. This is volume 7. Let's see. They switched to having pictures. The one I did recognize, sorry for the glare there, is that this had Kelly Partland and Fifth Avenue. I do believe that's one of the Partland brothers. but we'll check out the rest of these. This one is from, oh, I'm trying to see the year, and it's so small. So sorry, I can't quite see the year there. And then finally, this one I did have. So I took a risk. I ended up with one that I did have. I couldn't quite remember, but I think these were only like $3, so that's okay if I got a couple. I seem to remember Perfect Gentleman. That seems, oh, and Basic English. And that's not the band with John Waite, I don't think. It's not. So anyway, I did end up with one dupe. It happens. Next up is a band called The Models. Whatever for the cover, you know. Now, there were several different bands called The Models. There was a band from Australia, and they had a hit like with a song called Out of Sight, Out of Mind. Yeah, Out of Mind, Out of Sight. One of the two. This is not that band. This is The Models from Edmonton, and I knew them from a song in 1982 called Don't You Ever Go With Him. This is actually their first album. It's kind of new wave. It's kind of rock. They were founded in '75, and this is their first record. Apparently, they played quite often at a place called the Riviera Hotel in Edmonton. I got quite a bit of makeup on. Let's see, what year was this one? I should have wrote down the years, but it was made in Edmonton. Oh, this is from '79. So again, I probably didn't hear this band. This was one of the bands I used to hear on CKLW in '82, but this would have been an earlier record from them. So indeed, this is yet another Canadian find, being that this is the Edmonton version of The Models. Next up, yeah, these were all found in St. Jacobs. This band's called Wildlife. Now, there is a Wildlife band currently, or from the East Coast, but that's not who this is. This must have been a former band called Wildlife. This I found to be a German band, and the weird thing is they're on Swan Song, which is Led Zeppelin's label, and this sounded more like arena rock with some keyboards. This record is from 1983. It's actually pretty good. What kind of makes me laugh a little is if you're familiar with the first Loverboy record, the pictures of the guys in the band kind of look like the first Loverboy record because they got the red and the black. There's no yellow, but I almost feel like it's a little bit of a copycat of that record. This one turned out to be not so bad. I only say that I haven't been able to listen to the whole album, but I heard some of it on YouTube. So I think that was a good find. Now we're going to go to things that I found in Windsor. This was the flyer. The place is called Going Through Vinyl Records. They got free records on there. They really did have free records if you bought a certain amount of money. I think it started at if you purchased $25 or more. There were sections where you could pick out a free record from. I quite enjoyed their flyer. I like their the drawing. And that's on Ottawa Street in Windsor. Now, it was a good store. It was smaller, but they had they packed a punch with what they had. Their records were in excellent shape. They were just a tad pricey. Just gonna say it. The records that I got were all from the $2 bin. That's usually where I go, is the cheaper bin, especially since I'm buying things of artists that I might not know the whole record. Here you go. There's been kind of a fascination as of lately with Dan Hill. It's kind of an inside joke, but hey, you know what? He's Canadian, and I kind of want to learn more. He definitely is a good songwriter, whether you like the, you know, what do they call it? Adult rock, or, you know. Delilah mood music, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, this is from 1975, and definitely one of Dan Hill's early records. I didn't necessarily recognize any of the songs, but hey, it has an open up fold with all the lyrics. $2. I think that dollar records in Canada are $2. Hee hee hee. You may have heard of Kate and Anna McGarrigle. I think I'm saying it wrong. Garrigle. They were, well, one of them is the Wainwright's mom. And they were the sisters, McGarrigle sisters. So I don't know, I'm not very good with my 70s Canada yet. I need to get there. So forgive me for a little bit of lack of knowledge there. But this is a record of just the two sisters in 1982. What's funny is it has a Dr. Disc price tag on it, but I got it for $2. Let's see. Here's the back. Definitely has an 80s look to it. I should have got a little more info, but indeed, the mother to Loudon Wainwright. Well, no, I'm saying that all wrong. Rufus Wainwright's mother, Loudon Wainwright's wife. Oh my goodness. All right, next up, The Best of Lighthouse with a really weird cover. This has the song Sunny Days on it. Might be familiar with that song. And it has, like, if you can see that, what years they recorded these songs, because it is a best of. And inside, oh, it has a cover of 8 Miles High, but inside it has a big old booklet. So you can learn all sorts about Lighthouse. Too bad it's not in color. Look, they got a violinist there. You probably know the song Sunny Days. That would be what song you would know by Lighthouse. Next in our finds in Windsor, this guy might look a little bit familiar. He is an actor. Sometimes I find amusement in buying some, you know, actors turned singers turned actors, that type of thing. This is from 1989. He is, I guess he's known for Party of Five, and he was on ER also. I didn't really watch, I watched ER, but this might have been in later seasons. He apparently had a hit with a song called Sunset Boulevard, a soft rock hit. And he's still an actor to this day. I think he's 52 now. And just a really random fact, his niece is an actress on Young and the Restless who plays Cassie and Mariah. More than you wanted to know. The other interesting thing is that he thanks Herb Albert on here. I'm not sure if that means that's who discovered him. But he says, Herb Albert, my friend who I thank for the confidence. Cool. We'll see if it's any good. It's not the Jimmy McNichol record, you know. This next one's kind of interesting too. Never heard of the Grenadi brothers. Later, I guess, just called the G-Force. That's the name of the record, but apparently they were also called G-Force. Turns out that, again, I was just looking up stuff and reading. They're from Pennsylvania. Wait, you guys see the back of this. Hang on. Now, they're all brothers except for one. But look at look at their cheekbones on all of them. Sorry, the light is glaring on them again. I mean, I have no idea, but one of them's not a brother, but that would be pretty hard to decide. which one's not the brother? One of them's a cousin, though, so at least they're related. That's some high cheekbones there. This is from 1979. According to Discogs or whatever I was reading, they compare this record to the Beatles, Queen, and Jellyfish. I cannot wait till I get my turntable to hear this. Also, apparently they're from Pennsylvania. Their keyboard player, Hermie, apparently went on to play keyboards for many, many other artists and is still well known to this day. I tell you, the finds are fun. We'll see what it sounds like. Now, do I buy things and end up with maybe a crummy one along the way? Yeah, sure, I do. But, again, if you're not spending more than, I think $5 is my limit on unknowns, you know. Let's see, next one more from the $2 bin. I think I finally have all the Hudson Brothers records. If you grew up at a certain age, you probably remember their Saturday morning television show. And they're very, very poppy. They're good stuff. Kind of, maybe they got maligned for doing a Saturday morning show. But you also know as one of them is the dad for Kate Hudson. And I should know which one, but I can't remember. Let's see what the Hudson brothers are. Bill, Mark. What's the other one's name? Brett. I'm going to guess that it's Mark that is Kate Hudson's dad. You guys are yelling at the screen. Wrong! Anyway, I'm excited because I think I have all the Hudson Brother records now. I found the last one that I needed. This one's from 1978. So I'm looking forward to hearing this. Now we move on to some special pickups by our friend, the young baby Nene. Did a little bit of shopping for me at a special garage sale in Toronto. And from Murder Records, we find the Super Friends 10-inch. I should have took it out. Hold on. It's not a colored vinyl, but it does have birds on the front. There you go. 1996. Definitely did not have this. Very exciting. Also in my friend Nathan's travels, he was also able to pick me up the newly printed Sloan Peppermint EP, which has not been on vinyl until now. Has great graphics on the inside. Here's the back with the 6 songs. Ooh, we knew we were going to hit the camera at least once. I am hitting the camera because I want you to see how beautiful this record is. And they did run out, and I know some people were very upset, including my dear friend Andrew, that he did not get the colored vinyl. Thank you, Nathan, that I was able to, because this is gorgeous. Look at that. There it is, the Sloan Peppermint EP in colored vinyl. I think that somebody was already trying to sell it. Sorry for knocking the camera again. Somebody was already trying to sell it for way overpriced. People, don't do that stuff. Here's Nathan's own project, Havoc in the City. Make sure you check into his very cool podcast called Sloan A to Z, where he's going through every song from A to Z. He's on the letter C, so you're not too far behind. How did Matt Mays get in here? Well, when I was in Guelph, I did go into another record store, and I was only able to pick up one record there, but it was this one, which I did not have on vinyl, and it has one of my favorite Matt Mays songs, City of the Lakes. I have not actually opened this yet, but it does come with a bonus 7-inch, which also includes City of the Lakes. And City of the Lakes refers to one of my favorite cities in the entire world, which is Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So very excited to finally have this on vinyl. Another of my antique finds. This is actually a scrapbook, but I had to bring it into this video. This is Leah to every bit you can imagine. I'm a scrapbooker and I listen to records. And these are all little boys in the ponytail. It's just too adorable. It was absolutely a favorite find in all of our antique shopping. I'm probably going to get it framed somehow, put it up by my record player. And one more item to see, as we were talking about the Murder Record garage sale. The big purchase was the smeared box set. Took me about 3 days to even, it's like the booklet inside is gorgeous, has amazing, never seen photos before. It includes a single, it includes 3 albums. You also get a poster in there. It's just gorgeous. It's worth every penny. It's so well done of all the box sets. And I have all the Sloan box sets, yet this one just feels like even more was included and worth every bit of it. So I do believe they still have some available if you are looking to collect. Even if you only collect one, I would say get the smeared box set. So there you have it, our latest purchases in vinyl. Thanks for tuning in. Please leave your comments. Tell me all the things I said wrong today, including Rufus and Martha and Loudon Wainwright and all of that. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.